Welcome to part 2 of Rosh Hashana before Rosh Hashana. Today we're going to be studying Perek Aleph, the first chapter of Rosh Hashana, Mishna Gimel, the third Mishna. This Mishnah requires a little bit of introduction, and therefore today we'll only study one Mishnah. There's a mitzvah in the Torah to establish a calendar. A large part of this tractate of Rosh Hashana deals with this mitzvah of sanctifying the day of Rosh Chodesh and establishing the calendar. Now, in times of the temple, the calendar was done very differently to today. Our system, of course, is a lunar system, and it follows the cycle of the moon. In the times of the temple, the way it would work is, a Jewish month is 29 or 30 days, depending on the cycle of the moon. Nowadays, we have an established system. Those days, the Sanhedrin, the High Court, would wait every month for witnesses to come and say that we saw the new moon last night. If they saw the moon after 29 days, and they came the next morning to say that they've seen the new moon, and it's credible testimony, then the Beis Din would sanctify the day of Rosh Chodesh. If no witnesses came, then Rosh Chodesh, the head of the month, would automatically be pushed off to the next day. So that month will become a month of 30 days and not a month of 29 days. What would happen is, however, that no one actually knew that when Rosh Chodesh is going to be. So it would become necessary right away to send out shluchim, messengers, to all parts of Eretz Yisrael, the land of Israel, and beyond, to let them know when Rosh Chodesh had actually taken place. So our Mishnah says that they wouldn't actually send shluchim, they wouldn't actually send messengers for every single month, because the relevance of Rosh Chodesh, when Rosh Chodesh turned out to be, was not that relevant to every month. If you find out a little bit later, it's not the end of the world. However, there were 6 months where immediately they would dispatch messengers to let everyone know when the head of the month, when Rosh Chodesh actually took place. Let's have a look at the Mishnah. Mishnah Gimel. Al Shisho Chadoshim HaShluchim Yoitzim. There were 6 months that they would immediately send messengers out to let everyone know when Rosh Chodesh took place. Al Nisan Mipnei HaPesach. Nisan, because of Pesach. It was important right away to know when Pesach is going to be, so right away after Rosh Chodesh Nisan, they would send messengers immediately to let everyone know when Rosh Chodesh was, so everyone would know when to make Pesach. Al Av Mipnei HaTainis, in the month of Av, it was necessary because of the fast day of Tisha B'Av. Al Elul Mipnei Rosh Hashana. When Rosh Chodesh Elul happened, they would immediately send messengers so people could calculate when Rosh Hashana would be. Now that's an interesting thing, because Rosh Hashana, of course, is the next month. But there was a pretty strong assumption that Elul always had 29 days, because the Gemara says that from the times of Ezra, Elul always had 29 days. So therefore, if you knew when Rosh Chodesh Elul would be, you could pretty much work out when Rosh Hashana was going to take place. Al Tishrei, right away after Rosh Hashana was established, they would send out Mipnei Takona Samoyados, even though people were pretty certain when Rosh Hashana was, but to make absolutely certain, they would send messengers so everyone would know when Yom Kippur exactly was going to be, and of course Sukkot. Al Kislev, we're talking about the second Beis HaMikdash here, and a little bit beyond the Beis HaMikdash, when they still had the system of calendar. They would send out messengers for the month of Kislev, Mipnei Chanukah, to know when Chanukah was going to be. Val Adar, Mipnei HaPurim, and in the month of Adar, they needed to know when Purim was going to be. So in these 6 months, they would immediately dispatch messengers to tell everyone when Rosh Chodesh was established, and if the previous month had 29 or 30 days. Now, the Mishnah explains that this system happened during the Beis HaMikdash, but also happened for a few generations after the Beis HaMikdash. In fact, the system that we have today only started a few hundred years after the Beis HaMikdash, and our calendar system was established by Hillel II, roughly in the 5th century. The Beis HaMikdash was, of course, was destroyed in the 1st century. So now the Mishnah says that when they would send out messengers, that would be both during the temple times and beyond the Beis HaMikdash times. However, continues the Mishnah, Beis HaMikdash Kayam, when the Beis HaMikdash was around, Yoitzin Afal Iyar, they would send messengers for a 7th month, the month of Iyar, Mipnei Pesach Katan, because of the small Pesach, referring to Pesach Sheni. If someone didn't manage to bring the sacrifice, the Korban Pesach, the Paschal offering in Nisan, they would have to bring it the 14th of Iyar, and therefore it was important to know when that was, and therefore they would send messengers after the Rosh Chodesh of Iyar, so everyone would know when Rosh Chodesh Iyar would actually take place. Have a good day, and Shana Tova.